Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, first off, people writing in for the good and the bad, coming by, saying a few nice things. Much love to everybody, you know. Uh, if you're saying negative things, but you ain't racist, much love to you too. But if you're racist, you know how I feel about that. I don't give a damn one way or another. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of time I'm not in the comment section much, because through the beginning, I kind of knew how people are. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just a waste of damn time because these people are, there's no good intentions there, right? It's not like people are trying to engage with some damn sense. Most of the time, somebody's closed shut because they're probably, not going to be objective. Let's try to be nice right now. So, anyway, moving along, we're going to talk some more Terence Bud Crawford and some Canelo, right? I made a couple of videos saying that, some of the things that Canelo was saying, like Terence Crawford brings more to the table than David Benavidez, or Terence Crawford is better than Floyd Mayweather, right? Turkey Alashi calls him a legend, right? And I made a video saying Terence Crawford has won already. And this is just part two of it, right? Terence Crawford has won already. For people like me that know how good he is throughout the years, it's not like I got automatically on the bandwagon when he beat Bryce Prescott. Although I knew of that, but I'm like, whoa. But when it hit me was when he beat Gamboa, because I was going for Gamboa. Gamboa fan. I think Gamboa's career didn't go right. It was too much, a couple of injuries there, fights he couldn't get and stuff like that. But Gamboa was awesome, right? And even though Terrence was bigger than him at that time, you still were thinking Gamboa was going to beat this dude. After beating Gamboa, then it's like you got him on your radar. And he's beat a lot of people where, people acting like they don't know none of these people, question his resume like everybody. Go ahead with that. That just kind of either shows your ignorance, your racism, or just the fact you're just on here talking and you're new and you won't go back and do your homework. You could, those people that you're talking about, when you treat them just like names, right? Then that's when you can say silly stuff, because they're more than names. These people have training camps, have won a lot of fights, have beaten a lot of great fighters. Everybody is not the tippy top. Everybody. But there's a lot of good and great fighters, right? That both of these guys have beaten. But to be calling when you question a person's resume with all of these people who are saying he's great, then you're just looking silly or something else. You know what I mean? So, it's not like you got to be like somebody, but you can't be questioning people like, a Terence Crawford's resume. It just sounds really, really asinine and really, really like you don't have any idea what you're talking about, except, that hate is blocking you, right? And here's just another example of it. One of the things back in the day that happened that was really significant in his career, and, back then you just have the mainstream media that we're just not going to report on it. But the fact that Terence Crawford, right? Terence Crawford was avoided by Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao at the height of his powers. That Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? And people in the industry were afraid of his well-being. Now, y'all come here, some people that come here know I say this all the time. I just like to remind people that's coming just right up. You got to imagine, Manny Pacquiao, who was not afraid of anybody, right, was afraid. His promoter and Bob Arum made sure that fight didn't happen and said it publicly. You can Google it right now. Bob Arum, Terence Crawford versus Manny Pacquiao. Just put something like that in there. You will see. Bob Arum, I killed that fight. I didn't want him to get hurt, right? He's straight up saying it. So did his trainer and Freddie Roach. And then the pundits, the Stephen A. Smiths in the world, and the Teddy Atlases of the world. No, we don't want Pacquiao to mess around, get hurt, messing with Terence Crawford. And Pacquiao was at 147. Crawford was at 140. Right? That is a feather in his cap. That's something I didn't forget. That's huge. That's like, wow, that's big news. And so right now, because he's in a high profile fight, A lot of things that happen with Terence Crawford are just being said by all of these great fighters. Let me just leave one out and just mention the great fighters again. Andre Ward, awesome fighter, number one pound for pound, right? Somebody who you know is through grit, guts, and willpower, right? Because you're not going to say, well, Andre Ward, did he have the best jab in the world? Was he the most athletic in the world? Did he have the most punching power in the world? You know, what was it? Just a whole lot of everything. You know what I'm saying? To beat the people he beat. You see? Think about that. Say he's the best. Best in the business. Says he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. Dimitri Bivol. Let's be real. Some people would probably even have Dimitri Bivol as high as top 3 pound for pound. But top 5, he's getting everybody's. He's proven it. He thinks Terence Crawford is the very best fighter out there and says he should be on the book of teaching boxing, right? Alexander Usyk, he's either number 1 or number 2 pound for pound. That's it. He's nowhere else with all the accolades and how awesome he is. He has Terence Crawford number 1 pound for pound. Those are 3 awesome guys. Floyd Mayweather is in the GOAT conversation, saying Terence Crawford is number 1 pound for pound. And most of these guys think he's going to even beat Canelo, right? Bernard Hopkins, who was trashing the fight when he first got announced, but now that it's going to happen, he's got him at about 65, and I've heard all the way up to 85% Terence Crawford over Canelo Alvarez. Imagine that. These type of fighters we're talking about. We're going to forget the Telly Atlases of the world. He's not a fighter, but he's just a pundit. That's the kind of stuff that has Terence Crawford beating your boy. I'm not going to mention the Tim Bradleys and Shakur Stevensons and stuff like that. They might be a little biased. You know, I'm not going to mention them. Now, check this out. In most anybody's best fighter ever list, right? Most anybody that has something to do in boxing that's been living, that's been over, let's say 30, 35 years old, maybe 40. Your best fighter is going to be Roy Jones Jr. It just is, because damn it, Roy Jones Jr. is probably the best dude you've ever seen, right? Roy Jones Jr. has trained with your boy Terence Crawford and says he's going to probably knock Canelo out. I mean, guys, Terence Crawford has won already, because it's not about only the fight. You know, I have to go with that dude, you know, I forget the dude who, you know, the commentator before the fights, not the commentator, but the ring announcer. I forget his name. It's an Italian name with the long dreads. The fight starts now, right? The fight's already started. The key about being a high-profile fight and Turki Al-Sheikh being in charge means, I done told you what he's going to be. He's going to be banned in the USA because they don't like it in Russia, what he's doing. He calls Terence Crawford a legend, has him in a high-profile fight where all these people are chiming in. Remember, he's fighting Canelo Alvarez, the guy who we've been saying for the last damn near decade is in the top 5 pound for pound, best Mexican fighter ever, calling him better than all these fighters that he doesn't have to fight, but better than, knowing that he's picking and choosing the guys he's fighting, right? All of that stuff, but we're forcing them down people's throats, giving them a few gift decisions and all that stuff you've been doing with Canelo Alvarez, then damn it, you can't take it back now. He's the most awesome guy. And if he's as awesome as everybody has been saying he is, then this should not be a 50-50 fight. This should be an 80-20 fight for Canelo, seeing as though he's 3 divisions higher and as awesome as everybody's saying. Then nobody, I mean nobody, coming from 2 or 3 divisions lower is supposed to be fighting that guy, and he's the favorite. Terence Crawford is damn near the favorite here amongst the fighters. Only the odds are still got Canelo, but barely. And most of the people you're talking in the boxing is talking about Terence Crawford. And that makes me say, again, Terence Crawford has already won, because it's all about, for me personally, that this man gets his flowers now, right? He has been deserving them for years, right? And because I'm just saying, you know, I watch sport. And me and Terence got a lot of stuff in common, to be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna, like birthdays and the fact that we like a lot of different sports and you're pretty decent in sports. I ain't gonna be able to pat myself on the back, but I'm the kind of dude where I ain't gonna just be talking about sports. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be able to play them, especially about 20, 25 years ago. I'm gonna be able to play them. You know how if you good in a lot of sports, you got friends and stuff that you don't want to go play so much, so you won't have to be good at them. Or if you're going out, you are going out doing something, you're trying to don't want to really go because you might mess around and be good at it. And you know how people get. They don't want you don't want to be showing off or being good at stuff. That's the kind of dude. Sometimes you gotta like let's not go there because I can play that. I could tell you a story just about like tennis. The doubles people play every week, 2 or 3 times a week and stuff, and you don't never play. You don't even got your own racket, and they invite you. You play doubles on the starry team, and all of a sudden your team wins, and then they invite you a couple of times, and all of a sudden you by 4 or 5 times you playing the best guy, right? And then the best guy beat you the first time, but after that you start beating the best guy there, and then you don't get invited no more. I got stories like that. That's really real true stories. You know what I'm saying? And won't even buy my own racket. You know, and then mess around. You know how you play people that be playing tennis all the time. They be messing with their racket all the time, getting a little what is that thing called, the vibrator, little thing in between. Mess with that all the time. My racket this, my racket that. Well, just give me your racket. Here, take the damn thing under the good racket. All right, can we play now? You know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. Yeah, and just anything, bowling, whatever. You don't want to, that's Crawford's like that. It's a like difference. And his favorite fighter is Roy Jones, the best one he saw. And that's mine as well. Favorite heavyweight of all time is Lennox Lewis. But favorite fighter, the baddest one I ever seen is Roy Jones, right? And it's similar. And so, I'm just happy for the guy because I know how New Russia works. A guy that this is good. Have you noticed guys that excel like a Terence Crawford that's obviously awesome, soft spoken until people y'all messing with him. So now he's talking some smack, but he's actually soft spoken. Just confident, but soft spoken to y'all messing with him, and he just handles his business and wins fights. And he's an exciting fighting style. It's not like he's not exciting. How do you go up into the welterweight division? This was bigger than you. Was at 140. Go up to welterweight division and knock out 8 or 9 welterweights in a row. And somebody got the nerve to say something about you got a boring style. I did a video about that. He got a dull style. That was the Boxing News 24. The Fox News of boxing called that dull. 9 knockouts in a row with bigger guys. So because of that, I'm enjoying the fact that Terence Crawford is winning now. Roy Jones, one of the GOATs, also believes he's going to beat Canelo Alvarez. That's winning to me. Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all.